Hello teacher, how are you today? Here I show you my video for Evidence 2. I'm going to talk about two famous creators, Stan Lee and Todd McFarlane. Both are very important in entertainment, but in a very different way. Stan Lee was a comic book writer and Todd McFarlane is not only a comic book artist, he's also a businessman. To start, Stan Lee was born in New York in 1922. He created many Marvel heroes like Spider-Man, Iron Man, and the Team of Avengers. He wanted to show that everyone can be a hero, even if they are not perfect. He worked very hard to make stories full of imagination and hope. On the other hand, Todd McFarlane was born in Calgary, Canada in 1961, but he worked mostly in the United States. He became famous for drawing Spider-Man in a new and amazing style. Later, he created his own character called Spawn, who became one of the most popular comic book heroes in the 90s. He also founded Image Comics, a comic studio where artists could keep the rights to their own characters. The next thing we will do is compare them. Stan Lee was older than Todd McFarlane. Stan's work is more classic and full of hope, whilst Todd's work is darkness and more modern. Stan Lee was probably the most famous comic writer, and Todd McFarlane is one of the most creative artists in the comics. Both of them use the imagination to entertain people around the world. We can say Stan Lee created heroes to inspire, and Todd created heroes to make us think about our mistakes and fears. They both show you the creative can change life. But if we compare them with another modern artist like Brian Michael Bendis, we can say that Stan Lee was the most influential writer, Todd McFarlane was the most independent creator, and Brian Michael Bendis is one of the most talented artists of the new generation of comics. To continue, I'm going to answer some questions about them. The first question I answer is, why they are famous? Stan Lee is famous for creating many Marvel superheroes. Todd McFarlane is famous not only for creating Spawn, but also for standing up to the big corporations to protect artists' rights. The second question is, why do you choose them? Because they are both comic book creators, but with a different point of view about how to work. Since Stan always worked with Marvel, and Todd worked for both Titans, Marvel and DC, but later preferred to create his own path. The next question is, what are some of their famous contributions? Stan Lee made Marvel Comics part of the pop culture around the world. Todd McFarlane made independent comics and collectible figures like Invincible and Spawn very popular. The last question is, what is my opinion about them? They are two very different people. Stan was something who broke the most on his times, and Todd was something who only broke them, but also freedom himself from the control of the big corporations to make something new. To finish, this is my conclusion. Both are incredible people. Stan was basically the father of modern comics, and Todd was something he refused to be teared down by anyone, until he forged his own path. Together they showed that comics are not just entertainment, they can be also open doors to better opportunities. Well, that's all for me. Thank you for seeing my video.